How long does it take to make your business stable? Is it 3 months, 6 months, 12 months? That's actually not a very good question, and I'll tell you why. Because first of all, how long it takes for you to build a stable, sustainable business, everybody's different. For some, it might take decades. For some, it might take years. And that has a lot to do with your skill as an entrepreneur, right? How much experience do you have? So if someone says to you, oh, it's going to take 3 months, it's going to take 6 months. Well, it might take 3 to 6 months for them, but it might take 3 to 6 years for you. There's a big difference, right? It's like someone is asking, well, how long does it take to be a good chef, right? Well, for some, it's going to be a long time. For some, it's not going to be such a long time. So that has to do with how much you know, right? And your skill set. So another way I also look at this is, like, I'll take an example. In the beginning, in my business career, it would take years. It took me years to get to a place of what I would consider stable. Now I could launch a business and I could make that profitable sometimes in like less than a month. So what's the difference? You tell me, comment below. What is the difference? Because why? Because now I have grown, right? I've grown as a person, as an entrepreneur, that I have certain skills. I have the mindset and I have walked the path. I know what it takes to make a business work. I know how to launch a successful business. I have the steps and I've done it many, many times already, right? So because of that. And another way I look at this is that you also need to consider that you never want to get complacent in business. Just because you're stable today doesn't mean you're stable tomorrow. Just because you're successful today doesn't mean you're successful tomorrow. See, the name of the game is not to get rich, it's to stay rich. Does that make sense? A lot of people, they become successful, they get rich, but they don't stay rich. Very few do. So yes, celebrate, give yourself a pat in the back, but at the same time, don't sit on your ass and say, hey, you know what, I'm successful enough. And then you get complacent. That's when your enemies, that's when your competitions, that's when they come in and they take your castle, right? You always want to have a dose of healthy paranoia, I believe, that things are good, things are doing well, but what if things change? What if what I'm doing right now doesn't work anymore? What if suddenly the technology that I'm utilizing right now doesn't work anymore? What if the platform that I'm advertising on suddenly doesn't work anymore? What if I lost my number one customer? What if I lose my number one employee? Then what? Then what happens, right? So I think having that insight that, hey, you expect the best, but you also prepare for the worst. When you understand, when you recognize, when you know, what are some of the ways that you could lose? What are some of the ways that could take you out of your game? And you prevent a lot of those things. That's how you have a stable business. I think a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of good entrepreneurs, they are not overly optimistic. From my experience, a lot of the good, highly successful entrepreneurs who have built a company, who have long-term sustainable success, most of them, from my experience, including myself, that sometimes we spend a lot of time focusing, thinking about what could go wrong. What could go wrong? What are some of the risks? What are some of the things that we don't see? What are some of the assumptions that we're making that may not be true? So we don't want to be overly confident. We want to have just a little dose of healthy paranoia. I think is very good. So does that answer your question? Comment below. If you have any other questions, comment below. This is what I do, right? Sometimes when I'm going home, we turn the camera and I answer your question. And also make sure, give me a thumbs up. That's the only thing I'm asking, right? Hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification if this is the first time you're watching my video. Until next time, I'll see you, my family. You've already built a thriving business, but the question is, how do you scale fast without burning out? How do you transition out of the day-to-day operations so you can make more profits and have more time and freedom? The answer is not some magical software that makes your life easier, and it's not hoping you could outsource all these problems to some agencies. If you want to know the secrets of how the top 0.1% entrepreneurs create high-performing and self-managed teams, join us for our upcoming SMART Challenge. Click the link below to secure your seat today.